in a fun way, how frequencies are, not really how they are, but, you know, how they can affect us. And if you are around people who are not the same frequencies as you, they can actually not hurt you in a sense, but they can weigh you down where you don't move up. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. If you're hanging around a bunch of people that have a whole different frequency than you, they're not lower, they're not higher. Let's just say they're just a whole different frequency. When you're in that type of situation, it doesn't matter if it's online, if it's at work, if it's at home, if it's friends of yours. Sometimes, and this has happened to me, friends of mine who I've known for years, and Crazy Christine was one, her frequency changed. And I finally said to her in 2012, you know what? Our friendship is almost over if you're not going to quit drinking alcohol. I'm not a big alcohol drinker, and she just didn't quit, and she died of cirrhosis of the liver. She had a hard time forgiving her parents. She really did. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to I wrote a whole skit out. I spent a couple hours writing it out, hot off the press, as they say. Takes a while to get it formed right. I gotta keep it away from my wild cat. So anyway, it's the snake lady here. We're going to talk. I was told I had bad vibrations. I said, geez, vibrations? Are you talking about the vibrator stuff? The only time I vibrate is when I use something that I charge up and use in bed or in the bathroom. That's where you tell your significant other it'll be just a little bit longer because we know that we're just too tired to do the sex thing or whatever. But you know what I mean. That's what I mean. If you have that, and I do a lot of vibrations, I don't got a guy in my life. I really don't. I thought I did. I really did. I just thought, but well, my theory is this. I'm going to leave well enough alone with Mr. X. Let him go off and do whatever. Because sometimes people are not on the same frequency, and I'm cool with that. Oh my, we got 11 people. Woo-wee. All right. So when you're not on the right frequency with somebody, sometimes you just don't connect. And it's like, God dang, I just wish, it's like I'd rather deal with vibrations. That's a little more fun at night. But then you got to deal with frequencies, and all that stuff. So here we have, it's like, I'm a healthy and all that, I think I smell so good and everything. I even want to become hypermobility. You get all stringy, you can move all over, you get hypermobility. Yeah, you do all kinds of wondrous stuff. I had a manager, he was like hypermobility. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking to you, but okay. So, it's hypermobility is not like hyper awareness to where you know what's going around. You know what I mean? It's like hyper awareness. Some people take things to become hyper awareness. They believe weed is hyper awareness where you can meditate and close things up and you can see things. You know what I mean? Knowing what's going on, not just the awareness around you, which is like the heightened awareness of hyper awareness. And when you got that heightened hyper awareness, where their surroundings, their environments, body and or mind, that is amazing. That's a whole lot different than hypermobility. But it is an awareness, and everyone can attain it. That's right. Hyper awareness. That's just the important thing. It is. It is very important. To know your surroundings. But the most important thing, if you want to bring up your frequency or a frequency pattern to where you want it popular, you want to be up there in the frequencies, you got to have people with like frequencies that you hang out with. If you have a like frequency and you connect with somebody else, maybe that connection with the other person wasn't meant to be or whatever. Because if you're not connecting with them and the other person going, I really expect a certain whatever, like me. I have never been on a date. Nope. It's been, I'm going to be honest, since my divorce, I haven't been on a real date. I mean, a real whole date. So anyway, we're talking about the increased perception awareness of what we are. Hello, everyone. Oh, my. How is everybody? Thank you. Thank you for coming in for my comedy. We are just talking about all the things that I have done. Oh, my gosh. So we're going to be talking about, I always thought there was something wrong with my frequency. I was a kid and I loved school. Summers, I always wanted to make summer school, never got to. Well, anyway, I always thought there was something wrong with me. There was this, shorthand. You remember shorthand? Well, it's not right. It's extinct pretty much. Shorthand. Oh, and hello. Shorthand is where you have, it's like a shortened version of our language, and it's putting in shorthand so people can take dictation faster. They used to use shorthand because they didn't have recorders, so you can like back up and play it again. So my grandma used to write everything in shorthand. She go, you know what, little sneakers, you need to go over to the library and get entertainment. I go, oh boy, I'm going to go to the library. Yeah, I'm going to go to the library and get a thing on shorthand. Boy, did I like that. The library is a wonderful place. You can find a lot of really good books that you can eat up, as they say. And I found a shorthand book. Boy, did I find out before anyone else that what cousin was, who was doing what, when, where. All the drama was on the calendar was a drama-filled fun. My grandpa and I had so much fun dictating everything. Ooh, look at that. Oh, we didn't know that's going on. My grandma got so mad. I don't even think she even found out, because my grandpa's a good secret person, Oh, yeah. You weren't able to see your grandpa? Well, I'm sorry for that. I had two grandpas. I had one in Wichita, Kansas. He was a preacher. And I'm going to say, he had a big congregation. He was the head pastor. And my grandma was his wife. Oh, yeah. They had a whole different, they had a definite, whole different, frequency. And one day I said to my grandma, because I figured my one grandma's going to do the same as the other one. So I thought we'd play the same game called Guess Who's Calling? So I said, oh, I know who's calling. I said the name, and the one my grandma answered, and it happened to be their name. She goes, oh, wow, that's neat. At first it was neat. After 3 times, she put me in a closet and said, you know what? I think you're evil. So I always thought to my dad, I go, well, my one grandma said I'm evil, and we had to leave Wichita right away because, man, I think they were getting ready to get fire burning and everything. My daddy said, my goodness, Steffi, you got to learn not to sit there, and some people are normal, and people who, I go, Daddy, it's something different. Some people are on different frequencies than you. Their frequencies in their brain are putting out stuff, and I'm telling you, the frequencies, there are times you're not going to really rely, on your vibes, because your vibes aren't all there all the time. But your frequencies, you know. Oh, she told me I was evil. Why do you think she said I was evil? She was a badass Baptist. She was in a different not vibration, in a different frequency. She didn't understand that intuitive people can kind of figure out who the fuck's calling. My grandma did. She knew who every person called. She would go, I know who this is. It's Auntie Addie. And mind you, there was no cell phones, there was no pre-knowing, and there was no caller ID in the 70s. So you had all that out there, and here it is, you know. She's saying, oh yeah, it's Auntie Addie. It's this person. It's this person. My grandma was 100% right for that. She bought a game called ESP game. Oh man, we had a blast with that. Playing with the things. Here's one of the things from the ESP game. Where is it? Oh, it's a little thing that you dooley with. I always play with on the thing. Well, anyway, it's who you hang out with. If you hang out with a bunch of people in a group who are not the same frequency as you, it's going to hold you back. And that's why I told my friend, I said, I love you dearly, but you just are drinking way too much. I just can't have you. You're a frequency that's not matching. But I didn't say that back then. I said, you need to change your path or you're not going to be on this plane no more. And it did happen. It happened 3 years ago. And my friend Christina, she died of cirrhosis of the liver. And I told her she was going to die of that. And it's not being a psychic. It's just with somebody that, little itty bitty girl, lady, drinking a lot and little, they're not going to, their liver is not going to wound back again if you're not taking good care of yourself, not taking vitamins, all that stuff. And earlier I put a short out there about a vitamin I've been taking for a bit. And my hair has been growing really good. You see the color of my skin now? I did get sun, but I have it's like, if you can see here, natural, I don't go out on this side a lot, so it's not as dark, and you get kind of a color sheen. It's real cool. Anywho, here we're going down the line, and we are, we are going to talk about my ego when I was 17. Oh, I was a spitfire. Yeah, I was a little bit spicy. All right, let me explain. I lived in Holly, Michigan, and I belonged to the ski team. Well, that was before then. I was 17. My daddy, Robert, he was a skier, like what they call professional, but they don't make a whole lot of money. Yeah, I could still Google him and see pictures of me as a kid and stuff, the fun shit. But let me explain this. He made his money, his side money, and I knew it, my grandma knew it, and he goes, well, I want to go to the ski. He sent me every Christmas I did the ski thing for every year. You pay a lot of money, my daddy paid, and I said, Daddy, why don't you just go this year, and I watch you from the sidelines. You go, oh no, you're my daughter. I want you to have nothing but the best. Oh boy, that means I got to get up early and pack everything. Well, anyway, my ego was pretty big. And my daddy was studying at that time to be a lawyer. So everybody called him the Red Baron because he already was proving himself with the lawyer he was working with that he wasn't losing one single loss at all. They called him the Red Baron. And that was his nickname. And mine was a different nickname than what I use now. But I used that later on because I got guff for it. The Jesus people, they said, oh, your dad is a good person, whatever. Anyway, I had an ego. And I also knew that my daddy made his money off the, skiing. So if I won him, which was a good possibility, he might be a sore loser. He promised he wouldn't be a sore loser. Oh, I am talking about my ego. How we have an ego. And sometimes it gets too big because we have our ego running in the background. And it's good to feel good about yourself if you work hard and you look good and stuff. But my ego went so big it probably couldn't fit into a regular room. What happened was I went and did the ski camp with my daddy. And at the end of the ski camp, of course, after 2 weeks, you go and do the whole hill. You get tested. And how they do that is the night before they put the flags up, they get the water and they pour water so it could turn to ice. My daddy got the skis all ready. They were so sharp that they can cut a paper, not napkin, just a slice of paper, you know. They were good. Put them in there, get it all shut. That's right. And I went in the race. I skied down there, getting down, boom, boom, boom. It's GS, so you got to hit with your side. Boom, 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 boom. I won my daddy. I was 17. I won my daddy. I won first place. Woo! I was so excited we were going to go in the bar because I never been in there. You know, I'm 17. I'm not that kind of girl because I know I'm a good girl. And I walked in there and I said, oh shit, 70s. We got oh Lord, it looked like 70s. And I was looking for Cheech and Chong in there. Hey, where's Cheech and Chong? Because it just looks like it's their kind of place. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, okay, all right, well, we go on the stage that smell more like beer than anything, beer and tears. So I went up there, you know, I got first place. My dad just looked at me and I'm like, oh crap. Oh, my ego just started growing. Ooh, oh, it got oh big. Oh, my ego got huge. Because I love winning first place. Yeah, I did it all the time. I loved it. I didn't get the apprentice thing new. I get first place. I'm like, oh, my friend come up and she's like, woo! And I'm like, woo! And we go into the arcade and they give me a bunch of free games and they all hang out with me and I'm like showing my thing. Woo, look at it, look at it. Woo! Yeah, my daddy left me at Mount Holly. Yep, my friend didn't take me home. It was my daddy's friend who sat there and said, you know, your ego got really big, like real big. I go, really? Oh, and I didn't know. You see, I didn't let Lilith out. I used to call her, my darker half was the other Steffi. It's the other Steffi. Well, the other Steffi just got a little egotistical. Your other Steffi needs to be working with you, is what he said. He goes, like, a lot. I go, okay. I'm sitting there sulking. Good. I gotta go apologize to my daddy. And I let Lilith out and she just had a party. Woo! It's like running in the background. It's like somebody going in their background of your body and running. And you're tired. Sometimes you get backaches. You ever get backaches? You got something running in the background that's negative. And it's not plus, it's negative. You need to take care of that. Because when you got that running in the background, it does bad things. Like when you get stressed out, you know, you go to the bar, you drink a little bit more, and then instead of leaving the car and getting an Uber, you drive home, you make bad decisions, and you get arrested and in trouble, and then you got to go to, you know, court and all that shit. Yeah, it just adds up. Stupid things happen and stupid things go, and that's the way it is. Oh, was it gloomy in there? You mean over in where we got our over in the where we got our trophies? Yeah, it was. There was not much sun or anything. It looked like something from the 70s throwback. It really did. I looked up, I'm looking for Cheech and Chong, you know. And I didn't smoke weed back then. I didn't start smoking weed up till recently because it was illegal and I really didn't care to go, oh, I'm sick and I need to pour $400 in a little card. If I wait a year, I get to go get the fun stuff anyway. Woo! I wasn't that hooked on it. You know, got your weed dealer on the speed dial. All right. So we got Sometimes we have our negative half, the other Steffi, or the other Lilith, or the other demon, or how you want to word it, put it. When you got that running in the background, it's running. It's running when you're sleeping. That's why you're so fucking tired. It's just running and running. And you're going, oh God, we got to integrate that. We got to integrate it into our everyday life. I done it many, many times. I integrated it. And sometimes we get in stressful conditions and you got to step back. And you go, okay, I'm in a stressful condition. And if you get into what we call triggers, pull yourself out of that situation right away. You should ground yourself. And I didn't do that yesterday. So you ground yourself and you go, okay, I'm okay. I will be okay. Things will be okay. And then after you ground yourself, you get up and you try to do it again. And you get bumped off the horse, you get back again. It's like a whole thing. And you integrate your negative side. It won't be running like a freaking refrigerator all the time, making you tired. That's what it's like. It's making your ass tired. It's giving you headaches. And it's making you give bad decisions. You know those one bad decision, like $1,000 haircut when you could have gotten a cheaper one. Those type of bad decisions. When you go and you're a secret alcoholic, but you don't tell anyone and they haven't figured it out yet, that's the bad decision. No, not me. I'm just stating that because I had a friend who was a secret alcoholic for years. I didn't know until her friend, her mama told me. She goes, "Oh no, we don't go to the liquor store, hon. She's been drinking like a sip for years. We're trying to stop her." She was a secret alcoholic. I was floored. I'm like, I never seen her stutter or act dumb. She goes, oh, you learn stuff, and we all have our negative sides at times, and we bring them together. We stop what we're doing. We go, get ourselves out of the wrong frequencies that are hurting us. You feel hurt, then that's how you feel. If you're in a frequency, if you're in a party, you ever walk in there, you're in there, the room's full, you got all the people there, you got about 30 people. Let's just say you got a pretty good, it's a company picnic. It's outside and everybody seems to be having fun. This is what kind of company picnic that I have gone to. Everyone's happy. I've gone to the Motorford picnics. They were absolutely fucking awesome. You got schmickies, you got stuff, you got Ford stuff and all the little things that they had, and they gave out gift cards and stuff. Everyone won something. Everybody. Ford was pretty good with the money back then. So here, I gotta get a drink of water. Oh, and that's it. With my weed, I do it in the evening when I'm done with everything. I have decided right now, I'm just doing my weed in the evening, and we're going to be talking about my, more or less, I would love to talk about my lack of dating. And I just thought to myself, isn't it when I don't know. It's a lack of dating. I said, my Lord, this is just so sad. I really don't know why this is happening. I really don't. The lack of dating, I must be ugly as sin, or my not vibes, frequency must be off. I don't know. It's just not connecting. I'm just like, am I in the wrong frequency? Am I an alien and don't know? They're going to be calling me up. I did the DNA test for 23andMe and the history thing, and I'm like, well, I did those two things, and those are the two things the government's looking for aliens. I have yet to get a phone call, so I know that I'm not an alien. I'm 100% American. That's right. What was it, our thing? Battleborn. Woo! So if you're battle born, you're born so you can battle, and you have a lot to battle when you're dealing with raising your frequency, not your vibrations. I always said vibrations, good vibes and stuff. Unless you're vibrating down below, don't worry about the vibes. Worry about the frequency and raising your frequency. And when you do that, sometimes you get headaches. You got to take it easy. And it's hard to do that when you work and you can't get enough sleep. But on the weekends, it was great. So, that's the way it goes. Sometimes you have the good vibrations, I guess, frequencies, the way it goes. And then I was hearing, and I'm not sure about this, but I've tried it. I got 2 different ear things. I went and plugged one in one, and I put one on 3, and I put an earbud with another on my computer, and I put it in my ear, and I put on the left side, that'd be over, if what you're seeing would be here, so on the left side over here, you want to put it on a 3 megahertz, and then here you want to put it on 7. You can play a little bit each of other megahertz, but that's what I heard that the CIA been using to cheat. And I thought, well, one cheat deserves another, so I can just pass it on to you. But I don't know how true that is. I did try it, and I did feel a whole lot better, so I don't know if it worked, but I do meditate and all that. Yeah, I do. That's right. And then when you have that, the whole thing, people always think, oh yeah, you got upgraded. Oh, I'm going to be so great. We get a lot of people who think that because you feel a little bit better, you got a higher frequency, they're better than everybody. They know everything, and you're going, oh boy, we got somebody with the ego. When you get the ego going on, it's not a nice thing. It's something that, like I said, it's your negative half working against you. It's running in the background. It's like you got a part of you that's running when you're sleeping, running when you're sitting, running when you're running. It's running all the time. But when you take that negative half and you cup it around, you know what it helps? It helps you do something that I never did in a long time. I spoke up for myself today on the internet. I was upset because I just got tired of dealing with the wrong frequencies. When I was dealing with the wrong frequencies, it was making me feel sick. It was making me feel unhappy. It was making me feel hurt. It was making me feel everything. And I go, wow, this is just not the place for me. And there's other people in there that are absolutely beautiful. But you got always one or two in the pickle barrel that just makes the whole thing taste like shit. So I said, I got to take a break from this. I cannot deal with with the frequencies that are being put in and out at the moment. Now, I hope that I will be able to go back and do, I want them to do well. But as for myself, their frequencies do not match mine at all. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling that the place is not my own when you have one or two people that are showing a little bit different frequencies, like anger frequencies, and I don't care to deal with that. I really don't. If you want to send the anger frequencies and you want to have an upset thing, I'm going to leave and leave you with light and love and leave me the fuck alone. Don't call me and ask why I left when you got to know when you took me off at monitor that I would feel, well, what's going on? You breaking up? You think I'm not a good person? You degrading me? I finally said, you know what? I'm not even going to answer that right now. I had to step back real quick before I get real upset. It was a trigger happening. I knew it. I got out and I feel better. It's like a whole rebirth. I realize as much as I like to be in that room, I was not welcomed by a couple people or more. But everyone else said they loved me and I was all good. I'm ready to go to Johnny's. I can't wait. I'm going to be wearing a special outfit, so I have to go when it gets later in the day. Well, I think I'll go in the morning on Sunday and see if I can find the outfit. And it's like, it's a kid's anime, you know. I'm wearing an anime, and that's what I'm going to do. Because, you know, Johnny's a good guy. Johnny Yarbrough, so I'll be going on the, you know, maybe on the show if he lets me up or not. So I don't even know if he's going to let me up. But if he does, I'm going to be wearing a cool ass outfit. It's cool. No, it's not dirty or anything. It covers everything and it looks fucking cool. Dun 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 dun. I'm going to be Chinese. Chinese. So, like I said, if you're dealing with people who you just do not get along, you walk in the room, you're in the wrong frequencies. Those people are not going to like you. But, you know, it's always good to come in and kind of feel the room. Sometimes you get a couple people. But if you really feel like, oh boy, just take a deep breath and say, hey, it's going to be all right. You don't live or fuck them, so it's all good. Yep, and you go and you deal with them. Because frequencies are like that. People go, I don't understand why we didn't go. Because they weren't the same motherfucking frequencies as you. It wouldn't work. It'll work for a short time, and then after a while, you'll be at each other's necks. And then when you're not working with frequencies, it doesn't matter if the woman has got hooters that are G's or F's or down to Z's, and she's got a waist that's smaller than mine, and she's just gorgeous. It doesn't matter if you don't have the same frequency. It doesn't matter who you get. And that's what I'm telling people. That's why there's so many divorces. Damn it, you know, I used to tell my daddy, you just look at the wrong, you're not getting the, I didn't know the word for it, now I do. And my dad even said, well, isn't that frequencies? Yeah, whatever, daddy. All right. And that's what I was taught. He would tell me stuff. So when I came home and I had that ego and I'm like feeling lower than a church mouse. Because mind you, that was my daddy's job to be the big skier. But he also too had the ego. He had that big ego just like everyone. And we were standing face to face. The Red Baron and me. That's right. And he said, I warned you I was going to win. And he goes, I thought I had one more year to race you and win. And I go, no, Daddy, I'm sorry. That's why Grandma and I could see it happening. But I didn't think I'd let my ego. I'm sorry, Daddy, I said. My ego had a party. The other Steffi just took control. I was like in the back seat going, holy shit. Well, of course, my daddy said, you know, you gotta meditate, ground yourself, feel better, come down and we'll have dinner. And that was it. My daddy and I had a face off about our egos, and my dad agreed that we were both right and we were both wrong. So we both realized in the end that we had egos and we had to deal with it. So every so often I'd go, oh, in the wrong frequencies, with the wrong friends, getting in the right trouble. You know, you play those games, it's always the prizes that suck. When you play you're playing with the other Steffi or the other person, and they're like getting drunk, dancing on the tables, doing all kinds of crazy, wacky shit. That is your other negative. It could be your demon or whatever you have, but whatever it is and what it will do, it can mess up your life. And when you hang out with people with not the same frequencies as your own, and you go along your life, then you go and you have a divorce, a bad relationship, you make bad decisions after that, you think no one loves you. You're just not fucking listening to the fucking frequencies. If you listen to the frequencies, dude, I'll tell you this, you won't have divorces. You won't be going out with rich bitches who screw anything that walks. You won't have all the problems. The problem is that you don't have the frequencies that match some of the people in your life. And if they're family members, it's even harder. If it's your uncle and that, you could just see them once a year and you won't have to deal with it. But if you have family members that are close that are just not getting that, the frequency, and you're not seeing eye to eye to them, it can make your life a living hell. And that's where we're going to ground ourselves right now, right here. We're going to ground ourselves and we're going to imagine taking all of our liquid out. We're not taking it out. We're imagining all the nasty stuff coming out, going out, and we're going to have vines that go all the way deep into Mother Earth to get that golden love juice or whatever, And we're going to start with the head, close the eyes, and we're going to empty the head. Boop, boop, boop. And then we're going to go and take it to the neck, and then we'll take it down further and down by the stomach and the legs and the lower legs and the feet. And then we'll take the vines all the way down to Mother Earth. We're going to have that suck up that delicious stuff. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to suck it up into our feet, our lower legs, our upper legs, our whole chest, our arms, our neck, and our head. And it's going to spew out. I'm going to spew it out all over all my healing love and everything all over Pahrump so it can heal, so people can have a good, not vibration, a good frequency. I'm sharing my frequency. Woo-wee! And then I pulled it in and put it in my heart. This is my heart area. And then what I'm going to do is just go, oh, that's good. And there you go. That is how you ground yourself. You could do it any other way, but that's how I do it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. I have only so much written down. I had to write all this so I can have proper work. But as I say, it all is in the heart. And if you're not having the right frequency and you're not understanding that person, it could be because you have the wrong frequency. I believe 100% of all divorces are because a lot of people start out at the same frequency. They're on the same level. They can understand. They're talking. And then you hear about someone getting a divorce about 5 years later. You hear about that. I don't know what happened to Jeff and Jake, They were on the same, path as what they call. They were on the same frequency. And then 5 years later, Jeff joins a group where they meditate once a week. And suddenly he starts seeing his wife in a different light. And you see it in a brighter light. You see people more what they are. You see the liars. You see cheaters. You see the bullshitters. You just see them all. And it's like, I thought I was just getting old and wiser. No, I'm just, having a bigger frequency. And that's what it causes. You see the bullshit artist. You see the woman giving out money because she wants to buy someone. The reason why she's giving out money in people's rooms, and you see someone giving out $50, $100 because she wants to go, hey, I like you. I want to buy you like a toy. You're my toy. I'm going to buy you. And when you accept that money, you're accepting her frequency for you being a man whore. And that's how I see it. You want to be a man whore? That's fine. It's different if you're just, entertaining. But if you're entertaining and trying to entertain someone as in a way where you, suddenly meet them and you think that you can pull them in your life, sometimes you got to actually not just do a background check. You need to check with their neighbors and see how many husbands they've married and that type of thing. Anyone that has a husband that's been dead for 2 years and they're looking for love, they did not have enough. What my grandma would say, she went 4 years before she even stopped crying. She loved my grandpa so much. When you have someone who, if someone I love died, it would take me more than 2 years to go up on the horse. I'm just putting it out there because I want to make sure my vibration's a whole lot better. And when people go out after 2 years, they're going out after another man. It makes me think, who the hell did they kill? Because They didn't have no thought. Think about 2 years is a quick thing. Man, I bet you she planned that one. I know. I had this woman in this one chat thing. I was just bumping around today, and she was sitting there talking about that her last two husbands died. And I'm like, oh shit, man, we're going to be hoping to get Netflix has, the women killers next. She said that she hadn't told her boyfriend that her last two died. She only told her boyfriend that her last husband died 2 years ago. And I'm like, holy crap, what did he die of? Oh, I don't know. It was unusual conditions. I'm like, oh crap. Well, it is what it is. Everyone has different frequencies, and we have killer frequencies, obviously, too. And when you do have killer frequencies, the frequencies in which killers are out there, they call it psychopath, sociopath, whatever path they want to go and take, they usually end up killing somebody. And that's how it usually is. And that's, I think, is, it's also what the FBI says. It's not fabulous body inspector, I tell you that much. Oh, no. Yeah, I went to the FBI thing and they go, no, it's not fabulous body. Oh, geez, Federal Bureau Investigator. Oh, I thought it was fabulous, but I was going to get a bunch of $1 bills. Woo-wee. And they'd be spending money. It's a slow week when you're doing the corridors and you're going clink, 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 clink. Yep. So, always remember, try to keep it light and lovely. Don't try to go and look for a frequency that's out of your way or match, because you might end up like the one lady's two other husbands who died in suspicious circumstances. But like anything, like the one guy that I seen, he said his other two were gone. Yeah, I talked to another psychopath when I used to, about 5 years ago, after, it was like, I've been divorced 4. So when I first got divorced 4 years ago, I was dating, and I said, so what do you do on a weekend? And he's like, oh, I make homemade poison. I'm like, oh shit. And what did your wife do? Well, I made too much of that homemade poison. Oh shit. She accidentally ingested it. Oh, did you put it in her shit? Yeah. Oh, I kind of like blocked him and thought he was a little nutbag. God dang, you make homemade poison? Oh, in the hell. Did you hear about this? This one guy, he figured out, and this is the truth. He went and got an apple, and each time he had the apple, he took the seeds out, right? Because the seeds in an apple, if you put enough together, is poison. It is poison. And he ground it up, put it in a woman's food, and said that she ate the apple whole all the time. Because she did. It's actually good, and it's not bad. The seeds aren't bad if you're just eating it in one apple, but not 50 or 60. That's going to be like a little bit bad. You know what I mean? And that's where it goes. So, like anything else, if you are on a frequency or whatever, and you're wondering what's going on, you're kind of thinking, yeah, I'm doing a good frequency, and I got my minus is integrated where I can talk and I can say, hey, I don't feel it's fair that I even go in a room, that even if 2 people don't like me, because their frequencies can make everyone else's frequencies change. So I said, you know what? I'm going to leave it alone, because if I don't, I'm going to make it look like I'm a bitch. And I'm just can't be that way. It's not my whole foreground. And I think to myself, well, they won. The negative frequencies won on their end. And I'm ready to move on up. I'm moving on up. I'm keep on going. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to leave everyone in the dust that wants to be left. But there's a way to make it. You have to make sacrifice. Sometimes you have to tell that person, like I told Christina, I said, I love you, but I can't work for you no more. You're not worth the money. So I had to give up a job to help my friend, and she would pay me pretty good. I gave it up. I said, you're not on the same Frequency is me. But I said vibes. You're on a whole different vibe, but she's not vibrating. I said, you're on a whole different thing. I cannot watch you drink yourself to death. I love you. But what you're doing, you need to go AA and you need to cool it down. That's right. And yeah, she ended up dying. Sometimes you got to forgive. That's the first thing when you start. You start forgiving. You make a list. You know what I would say to do if you want to start feeling better? Make a list of all the people who fucked you over. Make a list. Make a long list and say, I forgive, and feel it. Go, I forgive. Because let me tell you a story what happened. When I was first with Senior Psychopants, he wasn't that bad looking. And Mr. Psychopants, like anything, you know, is sitting there, you know, you got, what was it, his ego, and he wasn't going to let go of that. And you gotta forgive them. So what I did is I forgave. I made my list. My dad told me to do this. He said, it's a part of raising your frequency. You got to raise your frequency in order to make sense of everything. Because if you don't, you're going to just be stupefied. Okay. All right. And that's how I felt, you know. If you're not raising your vibration and you're with somebody, I've had friends who I have been friends with since high school. And I thought, well, you know, this person I got along with, this person I helped with their homework, I did this, that, whatnot. But here's the whole thing. Sometimes you have to tell your friend, I love you, I think you're fine. I love you. But we're not on the same page anymore. You can give me a call if you need me, but I don't know what to talk about. When I upgraded last, I can't watch some of my favorite shows anymore, including the one that was a Zillow one. I liked it. But after watching it again, I just couldn't take it no more, along with Vampire Diaries. Oh, my favorite one, any of the vampire stuff, I start going, oh, that's not right. They're not doing it right. They're lying. No, okay. After a while, you keep correcting yourself in your head, and then you just turn it off and go, fuck. It's not even fun no more. Because you know what's behind the curtain. That's what gives you the whole edge. You know what's behind the curtain. You'll know when an asshole walks in. And you'll know when someone who has a frequency that you don't get along with. It doesn't matter how fucking good looking that man is or how good looking that woman is. It doesn't matter how many husbands she killed and got money from. It doesn't matter how much wives that guy killed and got money from. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. If you don't have the same frequency and that person's not going, finishing your sentences or feeling what you're doing by being by you. And the best way with frequencies, you know, is not by far away. You know, it doesn't, how can I say? Here, let me show this as a thing. I got a doll here. You need to be close and to feel each other and to know if you have. Sometimes it's good to just like hold their hand. You hold their hand, you know, you see if you have the same frequencies. And sometimes, like my friend said, he had gone to an awakening consciousness big thing. It was just meditation. It was not like gnostics or anything. He was into that way before me, and he goes in there. He was Christina's old roommate. He was cool. He's a guru now. Well, anyway, my friend went there, and he told me he went there with his girlfriend. He had been with her for 10 years. 10 years. He didn't leave with her. She left with another man, and he left with another woman. They no longer, that night, they woke up, and they both did a meditation. They had an upgrade, and they no longer had the same frequency. They no longer got along, and they didn't have children. So they said, hey, you know what? Things have changed. I get it. and they moved on. He ended up having a couple kids with this woman and lived the rest of, as far as I know, he was still married to her 5 years ago, so it's all good. But like I'm talking about right now is about forgiveness. That's the part that you start. If you hold edge on anybody, say you're mad at me, you're mad at this person, you're mad at that person, you're mad at Zippo, Zingo, and Zacco, you got to forgive them. I forgive Zippo, Zingo, Zango, and this, that, and all that. Because it helps. That's why. It's the part of the process. If you don't forgive first, you're not going to bring up your frequency, and you're going to be sitting there with a bunch of dumbasses doing fart jokes. And that's funny, but it only goes so far. There's only so much a fart can do. And then after that, you're like, okay, you're 15 years old. Get the fuck out of my face. Vibrations. I went and said, I forgive my ex-sister-in-law and all her kids. I send them off with love. I think they're the most beautiful fucking people. A month later, because I was going through a divorce, it was about 4 years ago, maybe 5, before I got my divorce, I said, I was here. In fact, I had my desk here at that time, or it was around here, and I was doing the live on my bed as the table, because I didn't have this table yet. Well, anyway, what happened was this. I forgave them, and I went online, and I started talking about his indiscretions. He had more indiscretions than any working girl on the street. Now, I'm telling you, she knew more stuff and back stuff that she backed me up. And I thought, damn, that is the power of yourself, your energies is going, yep, forgiven. And now she's on the same frequency that I was there. I was like, oh shit, this is like my Christmas early. Woo-wee. Then her daughters came, 3 daughters. Oh yeah. All of them came and just were like saying the same thing. They're backing Amy up. Woo-woo, backing the Steph's up. Boom, boom. He put 2 holes on the outside of my, near my thing. He got mad and he thought he was going to shut me up. You know what I said? I'm going to tell the truth. And I have 4 women telling the truth too. So get that. Because the whole family was on there. Yeah, they got to hear how wonderful that brother is. You know, when he would have made more money selling his shit than going off and just giving it away free. Come on, think about it. So anyway, when you forgive, and you forgive from the heart, because I really did. I just wanted to move on. I was like, fuck, my luck is sucky and everything, you know, like I'm now. And I got to go, oh, I could change this shit. I don't need to be a sad shack because 2 people think I'm a big asshole. That's all fine. They could think I'm an asshole because I know their frequency is so low that they would have to go way down low and pull up high, and they're going to have to forgive people. Those 2 people need to start forgiving, because if they don't, they're not going to start frequencies. That's right. You start forgiving. I did that 2 years ago, man. Tons of years ago. I've been learned that. Because you don't start forgiving, you're not going to get an upgrade. It's just that's a formal. When you get mad at someone, okay, forgive me. All right, I forgive you. Forgive everybody of their trespasses. They know not their lower frequencies. And if you don't, you'll be stuck like my friend. She was stuck in the same frequency for eternity. Yeah, you got to forgive and then you move on. If you don't, you're stuck in the same frequency. You can be stuck in the poopy pants frequency. Do you want to be stuck in the poopy pants frequency? No. You got to forgive and move the fuck on so you can be your own personal Jesus. Personal Jesus. I'm my personal Jesus. Woo, woo. That's what I'm talking about. We are all our own personal Jesus. You worry about getting cramps? Fuck, we're our own personal Jesus. You know how you take care of cramps? You sit there and you imagine, if you want to, Jesus or yourself, and you imagine, you know, Mother God, or whatever you want to call her, because I don't want, you know, and you can put your hands on your right just before, we're not getting, where your uterus is right around here. And you go, okay, and you get in your personal Jesus mind. You meditate. You will meditate that pain away. I did it many times. I never used Midol. I have it around still. An old Midol ball. I never used it. My dad taught me how to meditate your pain away. You got your inner Jesus. You could do that. You forgive people. Miracles will happen. If you forgive people, it should make you feel good. If you're in that right frequency, if you are not in that right frequency, you will not get that love, you will not get that job. Shit will happen. And that's where it's going. You got to get in that right frequency. Bring out the other, or the other Lilith, demon, the other Stiffy, and have her drive with you. Do not have her running in the background. She's running in the background while you're sleeping, while you're running. You want to integrate her enough, like I did today. Now, I was sad, but I made myself, I said, I'm going to say my piece and stand up for myself. Not to sound bitchy, I send you off with love and light, but you are a different frequency. I love you very much. And Mr. X, I just leave him alone. Let him deal with his stuff. And I send him off. I send him with love and light. And I forgive him for all trespasses he has done for me if I felt that way. And the two ladies, I forgive them for the trespasses they have done or will do on me that I know. Amen. Woo-woo! And that's to myself. That's to my inner Jesus. I got to feel that way. Because if I don't, I'm going to feel down. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to want to punch. I want to get in fights. No. We get a hold of our inner demon, our negative part that is running in the background like a runner. Running. And you wake up tired, back pain, headache. Oh, man. And I didn't drink. I just got a headache. You ever wake up that way? You got a huge headache. You know what that is? You got something running in the background that is tiring you out. You need to integrate. So when I talked and said my piece, that was my other Steffi. That was my other Lilith that stood up and said, I am sad. I feel this way. I am okay, but I want to tell you how I feel and how my feelings are hurt. And I understand that that is your foreground and your channel, and I will leave it to be because I respect your boundaries, and I understand that right now that some people's frequencies are not working with mine, and I will not sit there and take it. I am no longer in working with the clay, so I am happy. Yes, I am. So I have been on here for a while. Please take care. I will be on tomorrow. I will be on where I am going to work with some of the same stuff, but I'm going to add more stuff to it. So I hope you like it. Tomorrow I'm going to be trying to, what I want to do is I am going to be working towards getting, I want to like be able to start getting money to where I help the cats over at the place. I want to pick up some animal food for them so they can use that. So I'm going to be working for animal food and stuff that supplies that I volunteer at, and that's what I'll be doing. All the money will go towards the dogs and cats. Okay? That's what I plan. I want to do something good. I love animals, all animals, even the mean ones. They still gotta live. And I love them all. They all got good vibrations. But, it's like I love my cat, but sometimes he's not on the same, frequency. So, yeah. So I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a wonderful time. I've been here an hour and worked really hard. So tomorrow I'm going to work hard for the kitties and dogs for anything that you want to give out financially to help out. That would be absolutely golden. All right. You take care now, you all.